Try it again. Good afternoon, everyone. One thing about it, I'm consistent. Welcome. It's Thursday, July the 6th, 2023, 2:30 in the afternoon here in the council chambers, the Stellarton Police Commission. We'll start off by approving the agenda. Is there any additions? No additions? Can I have a motion to approve?
I so move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Campbell. You've all heard the motion. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion carried. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read them? Is there any errors or omissions? Any errors or omissions? None? Can I ask for a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Moved by Commissioner Mason, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. You've all heard the motion. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Business arising. Is there any business arising?
I said one, did the Chief jump in the Halifax Harbor? And was it cold?
Believe it or not, it was colder than I expected. Yeah, it was bitter cold.
I saw you jumping in. Well, on the, yeah.
More importantly, though, I stayed in the longest, so I just...
Yeah, I noticed that. You're in the backyard again.
And there is a trending TikTok video, I think.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok.
90 or 100,000 views now. Anyways, it's quite a sight,
There
really.
probably was a few people would have liked to throw you in.
At least.
I'll move on to the monthly, I'm sorry, is there any other questions on the activity report? On the business arising? So we'll move on to the monthly activity. Chief, can you go through the activity report for us, please?
Sorry?
Can you go through the activity report for us?
Sure. We'll start with, we have two to go through. So, excuse me, the May report, you can see we were quite active on motor vehicle violations. There were 20 charges, 51 warnings. The STEP piece, which Inspector Pond explained, was the targeted enforcement project or program that we were running. That had 4 charges and 34 warnings. I think what you can take from that, from the 85 warnings, is we're having a lot of contact with people. It doesn't always result in charges or tickets, but there's a lot of contacts out there, and I think people are starting to see us pulling cars over a little bit more and being more active that way. So to me, the warnings are as effective can be as effective as the tickets. There was you can see there's 26 charges for failing with conditions. I think a lot of that was around one person. Multiple breaches of their orders. That's really what encompassed a lot of that. The other stuff didn't seem too bad. It was 244 calls, which is a pretty busy month for us. And then at the end, the notable events, as you can see, we were quite busy in the community doing quite a few different things. Constable Morale was out a few times for different things. With me at Walter Duggan, I know that's Westville, but we had a special personal request to do that. And AGU was at AG Bailey in New Glasgow was part of the program. They were over there. We had G.R. Saunders Spring Fling on this side, and Braden Williams was pretty active as well, doing the bike rodeo at the Wellness Center. We had a tour of the police station, so I won't read them all, but we had a pretty active month with the community. So that was May. June. Through all the stuff here. Again, 244 calls. Yeah. I don't believe in coincidence, but that was a coincidence. Again, 41 warnings for the regular motor vehicle infractions, another dozen for the step ones, 18 charges. The other calls, nothing really stood out that month, over and above the usual calls for service. And then again, the notable events, you can see we were quite active again in June. Public events. Sergeant Venus was involved in a few things that month. Vandergriff, Gabe, of course, dazzling everybody with the Canada Day tee. He was there for that. Graydon again doing some things, and Holland doing this torch run. We had Davis Day, of course, and GR Saunders spring cleanup, so we had officers attend for that. So, and there's a few other things there. So again, another pretty active month in the community. So those are kind of the highlights of the two months worth of reports.
Just one quick question there, Chief. The impaired operation, I see, had 5 charges in 3 incidents.
Right.
How did that happen?
One incident could involve multiple drivers or 2 vehicles or multiple charges.
Oh, okay, okay.
Operation and the overheat is 2 charges.
And roadside suspensions, I see you had 3 as well. So, is that on the increase, or is it just, is that abnormal?
No, there were checkpoints. There was 8 checkpoint, June. We participated in that with New Glasgow and RCMP, and I'm not sure if Westfield was
I don't
there.
have those, they
Yeah,
weren't, we don't have those stats.
We don't have those stats on there, but we did participate in that. That would have been added in New Glasgow, 'cause they wouldn't send us, not that they would, they didn't send us the stats on that one, so, but we were involved in that. So on the rise, I would say, I can't say that for sure, no.
Is there any other questions on the report? No further questions. Can I have a motion to accept the report?
I'll move that.
And I'll second.
Moved by Commissioner Kay, second by Commissioner Taylor. You've all heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Press release, is that, the press releases, did you want to speak on that? Or was it, or, yeah,
Sure. So, this was a release that was created by the Street Crime Unit, and it was a result of a search at 18 Canby. The search came after, I would say, at least 2 to 3 months of investigative efforts by our members as well as the Street Crime Unit, compiling information that led to a search warrant. Sorry, I'm just a little tired today. I'm having trouble focusing what I'm saying, but the information led to forming the grounds to have a search warrant. As a result of the search, they found some cocaine, packing material, scales, ammunition, some other drug-related paraphernalia. The ammunition was enough in itself to cause the owner or the resident of the place, which is in the release, Joseph Spears. He was bound by the conditional sentence order, and the finding of the ammunition was a breach of his conditional sentence order, and as a result of that, he was sent back to jail to finish out his sentence. So it was another 180 days, I think, on his sentence that he had to serve as a result of that search. The Canby was cleaned out, I think, and it's currently vacant. So
they're put out of that house, yeah. I think the general public, what they don't realize when they come to you or come to the police about incidents like where they known drug houses, they don't realize that there's a time frame with preparation that has to be done before you can go. You just can't walk in and arrest people. You have to go through certain stages.
yeah, it involved targeted enforcement by our patrol members, surveillance, and the source information. Without getting into too much detail other than that, those are just typical investigative tools in any type of investigation, and this would involve all of them.
Thank you.
Techniques,
I just wanted to thank the Stellarton Police Service and the Street Crimes for their persistence with this one. It took a little while to get there, but like the chairman says, these things do take time, and the situation's been rectified now and it's cleaned up, so thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I think that's number 13, isn't it, that you closed down so far? There's quite a few of them anyway that we've closed down here in Stellarton. It's a good job. Is there any other questions, or anybody want to make a comment?
I've talked to a few of the neighbors there inadvertently, and they're very happy. They're very happy neighbors again. So it's a good thing.
I think we've had these discussions at commission before around other addresses, and And I think this one showed that in order to deal with issues like this in the community, it has to be a collaborative effort. Like just saying, coming to us and saying, as a patrol-based organization, we can deal with it, we can't. We have to collaborate with other agencies. It could be street crime, it could be the province with the Safer Homes and Communities, which we've done in the past as well. Other provincial organizations that we liaise with and collaborate with, and that has to happen in order to deal with this type of issue in the town, and this was a good example of how that works.
Yeah, it's important. A lot of people, or I shouldn't say a lot of people, a few people have asked me what actually are the street crime unit doing. Well, they're doing a good job. And we have one of ours, we have one of our own officers that's on that, in that group.
And it's a challenge sometimes because the unit is responsible for the whole county, not just Stellarton.
Yeah.
So, when there's other issues in the county, whether it be in the other two municipalities or outside in the county area, it's kind of a give and take, or push-pull on who gets them for the particular months. But overall, I think they're doing outstanding work in the county, not just in our town.
Yes, that's good. And we have one of the biggest, or the second biggest street crime in the province unit?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, any other questions you want to ask? Okay, moving on. Correspondence to CAO Higdon. Minister Johns.
Yes, I just received correspondence from Minister Johns in May, just ensuring that the town is compliant with sections 44 and 57 of the Police Act. So I did provide responses to Charles C. Marchand regarding the confirmation that we do indeed have a municipal bylaw, and that I confirm that we have 7 members, and the board chair and vice chair are chosen by the membership, and that we meet at least every 3 months. So I did confirm that with her. So I just wanted the commission to be aware of that.
Thank you. Emergency evacuation, EMO.
It's from Commissioner Taylor.
Yes, I want to speak on that for a minute. I understand that EMO do most of the work, and we don't get too involved. Just one quick question or observation. With all the wildfires, and no doubt there's going to be more, do the EMO folks in our area look at everybody that has physical and mental disabilities? Is there special needs? Like if a fire occurred in Valley Woods, which is a lot of evergreen there, is there special needs?
So, great question. Thank you for asking. There are stakeholders that are involved with the regional emergency measures operations. So, John Davison is our coordinator, and he is in contact with people who are special needs and who require special assistance. Yes. So, yeah.
There was 2 ladies that came here one time and spoke to us. They're from the and they looked after, or they communicated with people who needed help or assisted. Are they still around or involved, or
So they would be in contact with Remo. So all of this came about through COVID as well,
Okay.
and all of those channels were updated and
Okay.
ensured that anyone who needed the help at least could call a number. If we weren't aware that that there was a number established that if they did require help, and to call that number.
There was two ladies that approached us and wanted to work with the chief, and they work with New Glasgow. And basically what their job is, they have all the contacts of the people that have different, I'll say, mental. So if, for example, if they're charged with an offense, somebody's charged with an offense, these girls go and work with them because they might not have the capacity to deal with it. So that's what I was referring to.
I was more thinking about evacuation.
Yeah, that's why I was
issues.
asking, would they be involved with that as well? Yeah.
It's been brought up at the NSFM, the spring conference there, about a vulnerable persons list. There's not a provincial list right now, but is some people who think it should be put in place. So there's some talk about it, but it's not in place right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Great idea. It's similar to what the question you just asked, wasn't it?
Well, I read that somewhere during the Halifax fires, that there was people showing up to take people out of the houses, but they were either bedridden or needed wheelchair access, or you arrive in a half-ton truck and you needed wheelchair access to a van, you know, to get them out because they're powered vehicles.
So in Stellarton's situation where we have a flooding issue around the Twin Rivers, we do tabletop exercises with Remo, and we are aware of the vulnerable people in that situation, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any other questions on that, Donnie? Strategic plan update, modern facility. Any update on that?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
We had a contingent, I guess, for lack of a better term. We did have a tour of the RCMP building on Ford Street that the town is interested in, should it become available. The RCMP are building a new detachment in the Albion Business Park, and so that is something that the town and the police department are considering. So there is an update for that one.
Police volunteer programs.
I believe that the chief has tabled that until 2024, until talks with have been completed.
Okay, sorry, upgrade and improvement on technology. Where we at with
Chief, you
that?
can probably take that one.
Yeah, we're making a lot of progress on that. It seems to be going a little bit faster than what we expected. Actually, it was handed to me. We have the initial draft for an RCMP process that's going to enable us to, I guess, improve our technology we have, which will allow us to, for instance, have different programs and vehicles, or computers in the vehicles, etc. So, yeah, I just got off a Teams meeting before I came here, and we got our first draft done. So we're hoping in the near future to make progress with that.
Is there any time frame on when we could get computers in the cars?
We've been at it for approximately, I think, a year and a half now, so we're hoping.
We're close. We're getting close on that, and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because as we spoke before, it's a time saver. Because you say you can swipe a license and,
There's a couple other agencies that recently had them installed in their vehicles, so we're not starting from scratch here. We've got access to their specs and their pricing and everything else, so we're getting there.
got a question for you outside of this one. When you're going up McGregor Avenue now, you turn off whatever that street is called, and you turn on to McGregor and you hit the tracks. I noticed the other night there's a flashing red light there. Did you know that light's there?
Always talking.
It's on a wire across the road, a flashing red light. So are drivers supposed to stop at that light?
No. Is that on McGregor?
On McGregor, yeah,
It's
right,
probably warning that the
right over the
line is-
railroad tracks. I noticed the other night when I went through, and after I went through, I
It's on the
said,
railroad track.
By the town barn.
yeah, it's right
Yeah, by the barn.
across the road,
Yeah. I think it's just an awareness that the tracks are there.
with a
That's
flashing
probably a
red,
Transport Canada thing, that's not ours.
okay, transport, flashing red light means you stop though,
On a pole, yes.
and you go. So you're supposed to stop there and go?
I can't picture, I'll have to have a look at it.
Okay,
I don't think so,
maybe-
though. I think it's more
okay.
an awareness thing.
Bring that back to next place commission meeting, so we'll know what the story on it. I was confused when I went through, when I realized any red light you're supposed to stop at, you know.
Perhaps we need an amber light instead of a red one, if that's. Not our light?
No, it's not our light.
I can't picture it.
I think it's just, it must have been just put up recently. I don't recall it being there before.
We've driven up there 100 times, I don't remember it. Well, if I-
I know, it was just there the other
Obviously, we
night.
haven't stopped for it, so.
And I don't remember seeing it again. Because the other day I was sitting in the restaurant, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just went through there. I didn't see a light. I'm not a very attentive driver, I guess.
They're seeing
It's
things
something
in
we
the
should
sky.
look into it for us, will you? Anyway, there's supposed to be a sign when you put them up anyway, a new, isn't there supposed to be a new? It's, you know, when we put up a new stop sign, you have new on it or whatever. Oh, okay, okay. All right.
I have a question on the IT. Did we get a new server? Is that, it's ordered?
It's ordered, yes.
Okay, thank you.
There's a
Any other questions?
process before we found out, it wasn't as quick, so there was a lot of paperwork that goes because it has to go, and we're utilizing the town server while we're getting this other. Luke, if he was here, could explain it all, but I think there was a little bit more work to it than just putting it in there, but.
Did you want to get Luke in to explain it next?
No,
thank you.
no.
I probably wouldn't understand them.
That's what, again, I can't
You're right.
explain the lingo and the terminology.
You're right, okay.
But anyways, it's a lot further than what we thought we were, so.
We're getting it, it's very close now, yeah.
Yeah. So, is that all questions? Our next meeting is September the 7th. Did you just want to have it one next month? I don't think it's necessary. No. But the council's down. If there's emergency, we'll call a meeting. Okay. All right, the next meeting is September 7th, 2023 at 2:30 in the afternoon. Ask for an adjournment, please. Motion to adjourn. So moved.